It's 37 days to Nigeria's general election for this year, 2023. And of course, it's going to be all about electing the next president and of course, members of the National Assembly. And then individuals as well as groups have taken it upon themselves to be a part of changing the narrative in Nigeria as regards to our politics and how we take care of selecting our leaders in this country. And of course, with me in the studio today is Mr. Kingsley Okoli, Ozomba Navy, a man that is a significant part of the obedience movement, not just in the Navy, but in other parts of Nigeria. Of course, keep watching AnaedoTV. My name is Gloria Ugoke. With me in the studio today is Mr. Kingsley Okoli, Ozomba Navy, a significant part of the obedient movement and the head of the Progressive Alliance for Peter Obi. Of course, their presence is registered not just in Anambra State, but in other parts of the country. Today, we'll be talking about Peter Obi's chances for victory at the polls and the impact of the Progressive Alliance for Peter Obi, of course, in the forthcoming elections. Do stay with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. It's as if you know I'm about to welcome you to the program. You're welcome to AnaedoTV.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's truly a pleasure to have someone like you in the studio that is going all out, if I must say, to be able to change the narrative and, of course, give Nigerians something new, something to look out for, especially in this forthcoming election. So how has it been for you trying to coordinate and mobilize individuals?
Well, basically, it's all about commitment.
Okay.
Because when you set out to do something and you're committed to it,
Awesome.
then when you're not committed to the project.
All right. Now that you've mentioned commitment, it is best for us to find out who we're talking with right now. That's apart from your name, which you already know. Could you tell us more like a background information so that our viewers can get to know who exactly they're watching or listening to?
My names are Kingsley Okoli, also known as Kingsley Okoli for short. Ozomba Navy.
Okay.
Now, I'm an automobile consultant in Lagos, and I own a garage too in Lagos. I'm a historian, and I talk a lot about the challenges of the 21st century vis-a-vis business in Africa.
Awesome.
I live in Lagos with my family, and I'm from Nnewi, the great town of Nnewi.
So all the way from Lasgidi, we have a prince in a Navy here with us in the studio. Of course, it's an honor to have you. And it seems this automobile factor keeps following people from Navy because that's what they used to be known for. They used to be known for, I think they are still known with automobile and trade.
Yes.
So these two things, I'm really not surprised it didn't like entirely stray from what you're known for. So how has it been for you so far as a speaker this time?
Well, the interesting thing about speaking up to a whole lot of things that are happening now in this 21st century is the audience that you are trying to address and make understand about what's going on are very receptive and they are very technologically savvy.
Definitely.
Which makes it
especially the Gen Zs.
Especially the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Yes. Which makes it easier. Like I was trying to explain to a friend of mine, I told him that people that were born outside the 21st century are actually immigrants to the 21st century.
That's interesting.
And then people that were born inside the 21st century are actually the natives.
Okay, the real owners, of the 21st century.
Precisely.
Interesting.
So it makes them a lot different from my generation with the immigrants.
Yes. So you're saying that in this information and skill-driven economy, that the young ones are the actual driving force.
Yes, that's what Peter Obi is talking about. He saw it.
Okay.
And he knew he can't do anything without the new generations
Definitely.
in his government and trying to deliver Nigeria with its millennium goals.
All right, so talking about Peter Obi and the obedient movement, what would you say is actually fueling this movement? Because first of all, I can see that people do it like with all of their hearts. They're willing to give their time and resources to it. What would you say is fueling it?
A good example is me.
Definitely, yes.
I was a quiet businessman in one corner of Nigeria, Lagos.
Okay.
And when this election cycle came out, we all have our options, and I told myself I can't just sit by the fence as I usually do. I consulted wide, especially with my immediate family, and we came up with a proposal that we can't just sit idle, that we need to make an impact in the society, especially our community. And we formed Progressive Alliance for Peter Obi because we believe in what he's preaching. We believe in what he's selling to the Nigerian public.
So what would you say Peter Obi is selling to the Nigerian public?
Peter Obi is selling creativity, Peter Obi is selling production, Peter Obi is selling good governance, Peter Obi is selling all the tenets of good governance that will run a country in the 21st century.
Awesome. So tell us more about the group, the Alliance for Peter Obi, the Progressive Alliance for Peter Obi.
Simple. Progressive Alliance for Peter Obi is actually an organic driven support group for Peter Obi, just like a whole lot of us. We are cut across the 6 geopolitical zone, across the 36 states in this federation. And basically what we're doing is contact mobilization and information, telling people, teaching people how to vote.
That's a whole lot. To say that the organization has its presence in the 36 states of the country.
Yes.
Well, that's good. So what's your projection like towards the polls in 2023? Having, been into the voter education and mobilization, what would you say? Can you project what it will look like, especially?
Yes, before you start projection, you look at the itineraries at play.
Okay.
The 2 major forces, the political parties in Nigeria, the APC and PDP.
Definitely.
They have the old order.
Okay.
Time is fast slipping by.
So you're trying to tell us that PDP and APC are in old order?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a new way of doing things now.
Precisely.
Awesome.
Time is slipping by and they're just grasping for breath. This is the last election cycle for them.
Okay.
Because the evolution of what's going on in Nigeria is massive, is organic driven, is commitment driven.
Yeah.
And people are really tapping into it.
Okay.
Yes.
So how does Labour Party or
Progressive Alliance.
Progressive Alliance or P2B, how do you get people, especially the average Nigerians, how do you get them to participate actively in politics? Because I know that sometimes in Nigeria you see people talk politics, like we love to talk, we are very interactive as a people. But then how do you get them to the nitty-gritty of going to vote on election day?
Basically we have this mentality of entitlement mentality in Nigerian politics.
Yeah.
It's my turn, it's my people's turn, it's this section's turn, and the rest of it is gradually changing. And what the obedient movement is doing, regardless of race, tribal, how much money you have, we don't really care. What we care is let the voters come out and vote, see what you're going to vote for, see what you're going to get. And moreover, most importantly, if you have a good product, P2B is a good product.
It is.
If you have a good product, the rest is easy. APC is a very bad product. PDP is a very bad product. It's
talking about having a good product is okay. But when that good product is new to everyone, what would you have to say about people that would tend to prefer to remain where Nigeria used to be? That's in your words.
Yes, the advantage of that is this. All political pundits, spokespersons of different political parties will come and sell a whole lot of ideas to you. But they keep forgetting one very fundamental thing: demography.
Okay.
The population of this country.
Yes.
The population of this country is driven by the youths. They are more the youths and women.
Definitely.
So, in my own estimation, no matter how you spin the story, no matter how you think this is good or this is bad, the target is the youths. If they come out en masse to vote, there will definitely be a change in this country. And it's resonating already.
Definitely, it is. And that's why a lot of young persons actually belong to this obedient movement. Like, a lot of young persons have seen that this is the place they want to be. But my question now is, you must have encountered some challenges while trying to, mobilize people, especially at the grassroots and all of that. What has been your biggest challenge so far?
I wouldn't call it challenge. I'll call it more like, number one, voters apathy, and number two, lack of the right information. But the major thing really is this: we discovered from our research and grassroots involvements in my locality that out of 10 people you talk to about Peter Obi, they'll tell you that they will vote for him, and they will start extolling the virtues of Peter Obi, why he is better suited for that, for the presidency.
Yeah.
But when you now go to the technical part of it, you discover that they don't even know his political party. Out of 10, maybe 5 does. The other 5.
So there's need for some serious voter education. How do you intend to do that? Online or?
That is what we're doing. We are doing physical contact mobilization.
Awesome.
Yes, because of the nature of the educational level of people that we are interacting with.
Yes.
We need to physically visit them, show them what to do,
Tell them
and implant it in their memory.
Okay.
Because don't forget, Peter Obi came in 7 months ago. So most people still remember him with PDP.
Yes.
Most people still remember him with APGA.
Mm-hmm.
There has not been enough information that is going around the 6 geopolitical zone in Nigeria to announce and make them understand that he's now moved on to a better party called Labour Party.
Okay, talking about the person that's Peter Obi right now.
Yes.
What would you say, that's what we're trying to bring it to a wider perspective.
Yeah.
What would you say is his challenge in this election? His big challenge, of course, there will be lots of it.
I think the challenge basically is for APC and PDP to catch him.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're saying that Labour Party is already good to go, but then the rest are trying to catch up with him.
What people don't yet understand about an organic movement, when people say what we're noticing, what we're seeing is a tsunami in Nigeria, is the amount of fellowship that has built up under 1 year, in less than 6 months, in less than 3 months. Even in my own locality here, I've been able to convert thousands, hundreds of people.
Awesome.
Yes, I've been able to convert hundreds of people by virtually doing not very much. When I mean not very much, by doing things, and I'm not giving out money. I'm not giving up money.
Talking about not giving up money. A lot of persons have used, terms like stingy or like not being able to give out resources to qualify P2B. But aside from that, how do you now fund your organization?
Basically, you remember I told you, when there is a movement and there's commitment to it, and it's very organic, the fellowship is very organic, you find out like the money is usually sourced from individuals.
Everything else tends to
people tend to give you their talent, their time free.
Awesome.
So we're getting a lot of dividends from that.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, the Ohanaeze Ndigbo has endorsed P2B, Edwin Clark and some others have really said, okay, let's go for P2B. But then in Anambra State, I don't think he has really enjoyed a lot of acceptability, that's publicly. What do you have to say about statesmen who don't really buy the idea of having P2B as the next president?
Because they know P2B and they're afraid of what P2B can do. These are people.
So it's out of fear now.
Yes, you see what's going on is this. It's all about interest.
Okay.
Most of these so-called statesmen know the antecedents of Peter Obi. And Peter has been saying it in very simple language.
Yes.
If I'm not corrupt, and my family is not corrupt, and my other aspects of me will not be corrupt, everybody will toe the line. So you find out most of these guys throwing out mods and negativities against this man.
Yeah.
Don't want him to get there because of what he's or what he tends to achieve or correct.
Definitely.
Which is the basic problem of Nigeria, really.
And one that we need to address as soon as possible.
Yes.
Okay, talking about changing the narrative, bringing in new things to the country, do you think INEC is prepared for the 2023 elections? Of course, which is just a number of days away.
When you talk about INEC, you look at it from different perspectives.
Okay.
INEC as an electoral body has done some good deeds through the Electoral Reform Act. And equally,
yes, that's a plus for them.
yes, equally the billers, which restricts a lot of vote buying. And when you go through the Electoral Reform Act, there's so many things there that hinges on the fact that it's not going to be business as usual. And moreover, not this level of awareness of the people.
Information, yes.
Yes, the information flow of this election is unprecedented. And so whoever wants to do whatever is doing it at his own risk.
Any shady deals would come to light almost immediately.
Precisely.
Okay, I want you to get down to the numbers for us. How many voters, or can you give us like a range of voters that your group will be able to mobilize for Peter Obi?
What I can tell you is this.
Yeah.
When I donated my house for the labor movement and got committed, came down from Lagos and dusted my house here and started contact and mobilization, I saw the enthusiasm level. What we just needed to do was to harness and
you actually donated your house for this movement.
I donated it, painted it, and put up the whole banners and parapherals of labor.
I think that's one thing with people that are significant to this obedient movement. They tend to like go all out for it. And then instead of expecting to get things, you're giving instead.
That's
a lot.
That is how you impact change.
Yeah.
Just don't sit down and
Truly.
make it happen. You have to make it happen. You have to walk the talk. And every Nigerian that is involved in this are really living fantastic.
Definitely.
Yes.
And of course, their impacts are being felt.
And moreover, I have to give thanks to our donors too. We'll be getting tremendous help from individual donors from different spheres.
Awesome.
I've gotten 5,000, I've gotten 1,000, I've gotten bottled water.
And that's something. Yeah.
Yes. Whenever we go out on the streets to talk and mobilize with people, people give us things. Yes.
That's something.
Because they know Nigerians have started understanding that it's not money.
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Having this sense of entitlement that
Definitely.
we have to give you this.
At some point, you tend to even give your own resources
They are giving us
for that
precisely
change to happen.
They are giving us. They give us bottled water. They give us snacks.
So those that call Peter Obi stingy can now go to bed.
They can.
So there's a 25% benchmark for a candidate to emerge at these elections. What states do you think Peter Obi will be able to get this number from?
I'll tell you this for free.
Okay.
Nobody, not APC, not PDP, not NNPP, not even Labour, know how many percentages they're going to get.
Oh.
But I'll tell you something.
Okay.
Yeah. Labour has a better chance, a brighter chance of actually achieving the set goals than these other parties. Because right now, what the two major parties are doing are cancelling each other out with so much negative information here. Haven't you noticed that Peter Obi does not reply all these things they talk about? He doesn't reply them. He's a very busy man. He doesn't have time to throw mods at Bola Tinubu or Atiku. No.
And then sometimes when they send probably a spokesperson, you see the person almost trying to argue with the Itabewas and all of that, and it's really not looking good for them right now.
Can I tell you something about the spokespersons of these parties?
Yeah.
One thing you have to realize about being a spokesman of most of these political parties, especially the old brigade, quote unquote, old brigade spokesmen, these are men that are political contractors. They are doing this for their money.
Okay.
And
so they just tend to pay people to do stuff.
Precisely, what do you expect them to say? I'm talking about Peter Obi today.
Yes.
Peter, I've not even met Peter. Peter's not giving me a dime. I don't even know him. I don't even know him, and I'm talking about it this
all
way.
of this, yes.
And we are over billions. We are millions of people talking about Peter the same way. So it's a lot of difference.
Okay.
So if anybody comes to tell you the political permutation is that Tinubu will get to one state, this one will get this state, it's all it's just media frenzy. They are trying to play to the media so that the optics will look good.
To change
the narrative.
Yeah, they're trying to set the agenda for what people should think.
It's for the optics. So that when they set this narrative, people will start thinking towards that line. So if it doesn't happen, it fits their narrative that yes, we were cheated out of it.
Wow, interesting. But thankfully, Nigerians are beginning to become informed.
Oh, yes.
Like they are enlightened enough to tell, to make their choice for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, regardless of all of these things. So in terms of structure, I know that from what you've said so far, the Labour Party has, for you to even do one-on-one contact kind of mobilization, Labour Party has already created enough structures that would deliver her at the polls. So I think
Labour Party
commendable.
has, the obedient movement is in 36 states in this federation.
Okay.
We are in 778 local governments in Nigeria, and we are actively involved in the grassroots movement. I am a living example of it.
Definitely, you are. So, what about the audience? Are you specific about the youths, or is it like a Nigerian thing, like let's do this together kind of movement?
You know, I told you something about the immigrants and the natives.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So it's more for the natives now.
Yes.
Okay.
The natives want to take back their country.
And they should. All right. So there's one thing that's been all over the news, and that's insecurity in the southeast.
Yes.
But then, even other parts of the country experience insecurity, but somehow some persons are trying to make it seem as if insecurity is going to affect upcoming elections. How do you intend to carry on?
You know, when you're dealing with a man that is intelligent and smart, reading between the lines, you understand where he's going to.
Yeah.
Peter has said it severally, and I buy into what his narrative. If people are hungry and frustrated, the next thing is agitation.
Sure.
And when you agitate, the government is not even listening to you. You agitate more, so that you can be heard. But if the government dialogues with all these groups, it becomes a lot easier.
Sure.
If the government is doing the right thing, it becomes agitation dies down. Just like Peter said, I equally agitate, my children agitate with me.
Yes.
Even my wife.
That it happens in his family.
Yes, it happens in my own family. We tell ourselves the truth. My kids will tell me this is what they want. And if I say no, they'll keep agitating. They will have sorrow faces, they won't be happy until I not call them.
Yeah.
And we'll dialogue.
Scare them out.
Yes, we'll dialogue. I'll tell you, okay, I can give you this, but you won't have this. And we'll reach a compromise.
Definitely.
And everybody's happy.
So it seems as if sometimes they are willing to dialogue with some groups and not other groups.
Precisely.
And it's leading to more agitations.
What the APC government is doing, and that's part of the reasons why they have to leave Nigeria before they divide Nigeria, is they have this system of divide and rule.
Definitely. And there's rehabilitation for some set of ex-terrorists.
Precisely.
Interesting times in Nigeria.
Interesting times, really.
What do you think the political trends will be like after the elections? Are we going to have lots of defects from one party to another and all that?
Yes, it's part of the system that we adopted in Nigeria.
Okay.
You have the right to move from one party to another. and seek your own political relevance.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what politicians do is seeking political relevance. So I might be in Labour today, and if Peter is underperforming tomorrow as the president, I might decide to go to another party. But be rest assured that the immigrants that are coming in here that brought in APC or PDP, it's time up for that.
Okay.
It's time up.
Interesting. So, some people believe that Labour Party that's the core politicians, are those who are probably angry or frustrated in their former political parties. So, I don't know what your political interests are before now, but what made you choose Labour Party? Is it the Peter Obi obedience factor, or you think it's the best for you?
You see, I looked at the antecedents of this man called Peter Obi.
Okay.
I was already a businessman doing big business in Nigeria when Peter Obi was the governor. And just like what he's been saying, go and verify. I did my own research. You see, one thing I don't get about people is the world is getting to a stage where everything is technologically driven.
Sure.
Why is it that people cannot go and verify what Peter Obi is saying?
They can, but some people just don't want to.
Precisely. They want to keep spreading the false narrative that Peter is this or that. Go and verify what the man has done. It's very simple.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that, away from Peter Obi for a moment now?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts towards inclusion that's in the Nigerian political space, especially for women? Do you think there's been enough representation, or is it that the women are just not interested at all?
You know, I keep saying this.
More like, how do we bring them into the picture?
It's very simple.
Okay.
One of the smartest group of people today in Nigeria, in the world today, are women. The sooner we start accepting the facts that our old ways don't work anymore, the better for us. We have to stand up and respect women for what they are, not for what they look like.
That's an important aspect.
Not what they look like, because our culture tends to make men very chauvinistic in our attribute, our relationship with women folk. But that has to stop. But last time I checked, we're in the 21st century.
Of course, yeah.
And guess what? The women, their population is even more than men.
Sure.
They're equally a threat to us. In another few years, the population of women to men will be like 5-1 or 3-1.
With the kind of men we have in Nigeria, I don't think women will ever be a threat.
Oh, yeah, having strong women.
But in terms of population, yes. And in terms of, capacities too, women are beginning to rise to the occasion. Like we have the likes of Okonjos and lots of them that are actually making women proud.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one. So what else would you like us to know, especially about Progressive Alliance for People?
Basically, my idea of Progressive Alliance is in its simplicity. Just like everything that is happening around the Labour Party, Obedient Movement, and Peter Obi.
Okay.
It is in its simplicity, so flexible.
Okay.
What we did was a group of people came together, like minds, and we decided that, look, we have to impact our community for that deserved change. So what we basically did was we came down to Anambra State, joined the other forces, and we all moved to our individual local governments to make that deserved change. Awesome. And it's being fueled by our personal...
When you say join the other forces, do you mean like other persons that bought into the movement, or?
Yes, other platforms.
Okay, like other support groups.
Support groups.
Awesome. Okay.
We're over 200 and something. So we take each portion of the area and sanitize it, mobilize it, get people to be obedient. And people are responding. In Kogi State, we have reports they are responding. In Nasarawa, they are responding. In Gombe, they are responding.
So it's really looking good for the obedience this time around.
Their greatest fear is the interconnectivity of the activities of the obedient movement. It's never happened in our political system.
Yes.
It's never happened.
And they seem to already understand what they want and how to
Precisely. Go get it. Right now, I came with my little organization.
Okay.
We're able to make inroads in the university campus, the College of Health Sciences.
Oh, College of Health.
Yes. And we've gotten the students very obedient. They are rolling to go. And they created a hashtag called hashtag College of Medicine Okofia is very obedient. And they are working in collaboration with us.
It's a good one.
Yes.
Okay. Good job and kudos to you for all that you're doing for the obedience movement. I think we need more persons like you that can actually come out to say it's time to change the narrative, and I will be a part of it. Not just talking about these things, but coming out to say that okay, on that day you're going to go with your PVC and then vote for your choice. Of course, you're still watching AnaedoTV. We bring you egocentric content every now and then. Okay, one last question before I let you go. What's in it for you? Like, do you have political interest? Is it really for the impact or?
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
The only political interest I have is for Peter Obi to become the next president of Nigeria.
Okay, that's a noble
right
one.
Now. I don't have any other interest apart from the fact that I want Peter Obi to become the president of Nigeria. Subsequently, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Because Nigeria has to have people that are devoid of selfish personal interest. Yes. That's the Nigeria we're all looking at.
And we have one of such persons right here with us at the studio of AnaedoTV is Mr. Kingsley Okoli, the Ozomba Navy. Of course, a very important part of the obedient movement, and of course he's also an automobile consultant, but currently he's spearheading the alliance, the Progressive Alliance for Peter Obi. And of course it's really, really, really looking good for the obedience movement, not just in Anambra State, but all over the country. So good luck on the 25th of next month as we look forward to more interesting times.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. This is still AnaedoTV. Keep watching.